Tom continued to cry loudly and desperately plead for help. My sister-in-law, Lily, soothed him, and when he calmed down, Tom finally told us why he was crying. "Mommy, please save Grandma." "Okay, I will. But from whom shall I save Grandma?" "From the devil." "Huh?" If you lie, the devil will take you away, right? Because Grandma lied. So please help her and protect her from the devil." When Tom finished saying this, he burst into tears and clung to Lily. Then, all at once, all our eyes turned to my mother-in-law, Anna. My name is Caitlin. I have been married to my husband, John, for 6 months, and we are leading a reasonably peaceful life. We are newlyweds, and our married lifestyle is fun, but there is just one problem. And that is, it's because of my mother-in-law, Anna. My husband and I went to college together and have known each other since then. He came from a rural area into the city, but he didn't go back to his parents very often. I thought people would usually go back to his parents' place during summer holidays or other long holidays, but this was not the case with John. When I casually asked John the reason, he told me that he didn't really have a good relationship with his mother. He said that ever since he could remember, he didn't really like how his mother behaved sometimes. If I remember correctly, John told me that it was her leadership style that he didn't like about his own mother. Until middle school, there are many school events where parents meet each other. In such situations like that, Anna was always at the center of the circle. And she loved to gossip around with other people, mostly in a negative way. She would make negative comments about people saying things like, "I don't agree with it, but..." My husband told me that he hated that and was disgusted by it. In addition to that, once Anna catches John's attention, she would start backstabbing and complaining about people and about anything. My husband didn't like hearing her backstabbing people and her complaints, so he didn't go home to his parents' place much anymore. Before we got married, I had just listened to stories from John about Anna and thought that maybe John didn't like to get too involved in conversations like we women do. But when I first met her to greet them before I got married to John, I finally understood what my husband was talking about. "You two met in college, right?" "Yes, that's right." "It's unusual for a girl like you to be a science major." "Well, yes, you're right. There were only 4 of us girls in our department, including me." "Oh, is that so? When I was in college, I majored in liberal arts, and there were a lot of girls who were all pretty and glamorous. I guess a lot of popular girls tend to be in liberal arts." "Oh, maybe you're right. Many of the girls in the liberal arts are very cute and fashionable. But, on the other hand, girls who majors in science wear jeans and shirts, right? I wonder if some of them are tomboys." "Wow, you know pretty well. I'm actually that type, you know." I thought I was having a good conversation with Anna, but for some reason I felt somewhat strange. "That's enough of that talk then." Okay. "I wasn't saying to you, Caitlin. I was saying to my mother." "Oh, what? Did I say something wrong?" My husband looked annoyed at Anna, but Anna looked normal, as if she didn't say anything wrong. At the time, I had no idea what was wrong with the conversation I just had with Anna. But then, my husband apologized to me on the way home and explained to me, and that was when I understood everything. "I'm sorry about my mother." "Huh? Why?" "Well, you see, she was always one-upping you." "What? When?" "When you both were talking about women in liberal arts and science." "Well, it's not only that, but yeah." "Oh, come to think of it, I did feel somewhat off then, but I didn't exactly really know what it was. But I really didn't think she was one-upping me." "That's what I love about you, Caitlin. I just want you to know that I don't want my mother to nag at you too. Mother was saying women in liberal arts equals glamorous and women in science equals tomboy, but by saying that, she was implying something else. Women in liberal arts are fashionable, but women in science are lame, is what I think she was trying to say."
But to me, if women in science are tomboys, I think that they are graceful.
Oh, you're right. Wow, so she was indirectly saying that I was lame, huh? I really wasn't thinking that deeply, you know. But now I know. So this is what you were talking about, John, when you said you didn't like that part about her, huh? From now on, I'm going to just let it all slide and shrug them off before Anna starts running her engine to one-up me. Like that, the only element of my anxiety in our marriage was Anna. My husband hasn't been back home much since before he was married, and he himself wants to keep his distance from his mother. So, in the end, we decided to get married, thinking that it would be fine. After the marriage, my husband and I have not returned to his parents' place. And even after 6 months, we still haven't visited over, and there hasn't been any major issues. The only problem is that Anna calls us, and every phone call I have with her is really long. She calls me and tells me many gossips about her neighbors. And everything she says about her neighbors are all negative. There are not that many bad people in the world, but she talks as if she is surrounded by really bad people. And I am not able to agree with everything she says. So, I try not to listen to what she says, and I can only reply as I see to her. I would always receive such calls from her twice a week. Each call lasts about 2 hours or so. I have been listening to everything that she has to say that I don't agree with her about at all for hours on end, and to be honest, I was getting a little depressed.
You look like you're exhausted recently. Are you okay?
My husband says while looking at me. Yeah, I'm okay.
You sure? Did something happen? You should talk to me about everything, you know?
Everything?
Yeah, everything. We're married, Caitlin.
When I told my husband what had happened, he immediately apologized to me.
I'm so sorry for not realizing about this.
It's not your fault, honey.
No, it is my responsibility. I really had no idea that my mother was calling you. I'm really sorry. I'll talk to my mother about it, so from now on, you can just ignore the calls you get from my mother. You can even set your phone to block her calls, okay?
Even though my husband said that, I didn't set my phone to block Anna's calls. But my husband was able to tell his mother to stop calling me, and after that, Anna did not call me anymore. It was then that I received a call from my sister-in-law, Lily, informing me of the birth of her second baby. It was the first visit home to my in-laws since our marriage, but my husband was not at all enthusiastic from the start.
Would it be wrong to just send them a gift or something?
Well, that's a difficult question, isn't it? I think that would be fine, but from Lily's point of view, I think she would want us to celebrate with them, wouldn't she? What was it like when Tom was born? Tom was Lily's first baby, and he was turning 4 this year.
We all got together that time, too.
Oh, I see. Then maybe we should celebrate together in that way.
You're right.
My husband didn't want to go back to his parents' house as much as possible, but this was for the sake of his newborn nephew. My husband also told himself the same thing and decided to join the celebration. When we headed to my in-laws' house, we saw them being all over Lily's second baby. Everyone was celebrating in the living room. I helped around the house with Anna since Lily just got out from the clinic after giving birth to the baby. We set out the dishes and enjoyed the meal together. After finishing the meal, the whole family would gather around the newborn baby again. I carried the dishes to the sink while watching the family gather around the newborn baby. My husband also followed me, and we were able to finish cleaning up smoothly. My husband was also touching the baby's cheeks and repeatedly saying how cute she was. I'm glad we got to come here in the end. With these thoughts in mind, I got up from my seat and was about to go into the restroom when I heard the door behind close me. I turned around in surprise to find Anna standing there. Anna? What's wrong? Don't use it. Excuse me? Strangers can't use the restroom here. What? Yes, since you're a stranger, why don't you go outside and find a restroom for you to use? Outside? Okay, I understand. Are there any shops nearby here? Oh, we're in the countryside, you know, so there are no shops nearby. I see. Then I'll just use your bathtub. Huh? Well, as you can imagine, I am a human being too, and doing my business outside the house is just a bit too much, so I thought doing it in the bathtub would be better. I actually once did it in the bathtub, and I was yelled at by my father, but please don't mind me. When I tried to open the door to the bathroom, which was right next to the toilet, Anna desperately tried to stop me. Oh, Caitlin, what the hell are you thinking? Oh, it's okay. Restroom and bath is the same thing. That's not the point here. Please, just get your hands off. Perhaps Anna's loud voice reached the living room. My husband rushed over.
Mother, what are you doing to Caitlin?
Oh, honey, you know, your mother won't let me use... I didn't do anything. Huh? I didn't do anything to her. When we were all just enjoying the time, Caitlin here was about to start cleaning the bathtub all of a sudden, so I just stopped her. Huh? Then does that mean that I can use the restroom? What are you even talking about? Of course you can. What am I talking about? What? That is my line. She says that I can't use it, but I can use it, so what is the real answer? In the midst of all this, it was Tom who suddenly started to cry loudly. I'm not sure how long he was there, but now Tom was crying right at the front door. Surprised by Tom's voice, Lily and her husband and even my father-in-law gathered right in front of the bathroom, which was close to the front door. Grandma! Grandma is... Tom was crying a lot in a serious way, and even I, who has never had a child before, knew that Tom was crying seriously. Lily goes over to comfort Tom, but she also can't get him to stop. Mommy! Please save Grandma! Well, this is a bad situation. Save Grandma means I'm the bad guy here. Even I could understand where this was going to. I have done nothing wrong, but it is very difficult to prove it in this situation. And seeing this, Anna did not try to miss the opportunity too. Oh, Tommy, you're trying to protect me. You're such a kind boy, Tommy. Thank you. My goodness, Caitlin, maybe you could learn something from Tom here. When we were all having fun and enjoying the time as a one big family, you just tried to clean the bathtub all of a sudden. You really have no sense of being cooperative around here. Huh? But Tom continued to cry loudly and desperately plead for help. My sister-in-law Lily soothed him, and when he calmed down, Tom finally told us why he was crying. Mommy, please save Grandma. Okay, I will. But from whom shall I save Grandma? From the devil. Huh? If you lie, the devil will take you away, right? Because Grandma lied. So please help her and protect her from the devil. When Tom finished saying this, he burst into tears and clung to Lily. Then all at once, all our eyes turned to my mother-in-law, Anna. Oh, Tom, it's okay. What you mean is that Grandma here told me to not use the restroom because I'm a stranger, right? Yeah. And I was told to go to the restroom outside, and Grandma also was the one who said not to use the bathtub too, right? Yeah. Don't worry, Grandma will tell the truth. So the devil won't take her away. Right, Anna? Tommy, did I really say that? Yeah, you did. I see. I don't really remember, but if I did say it, then I'm sorry, Tommy. I admit then. Then seeing what had happened, Lily instructed her husband to bring the kids upstairs with him. When she saw that they had gone upstairs, she glared right at Anna. I can't believe you made excuses. You're the worst, Mother. I mean, what the heck did you even say to Caitlin? I knew how mean you can be, Mother, but since you took care of our child, I tried to ignore it. But this time, no way. I'm not coming here anymore, so please do keep that in mind. Hey, wait! Then Lily came and hugged me, quickly packed her bags, took her family with her, and left the house.
We won't be coming here anymore either. But first, you should apologize.
Do I need to apologize?
Excuse me?
Because Caitlin is a stranger. She got annoyed by my calls, wasn't she?
Well, yes, duh. Who wants to pick up the phone when all you do is talk shit about other people?
I didn't say anything bad about anyone. I really do hope that the devil takes her away someday. John, you shouldn't be getting carried away like this with her. You do know that Caitlin is a stranger and you're only connected to her through just a piece of paper, right? You just got married and all you do is take your wife's side. How pathetic. That's not how John is. You're a stranger, so you better shut up. I mean, what were you even thinking of doing in someone's bathroom? Well, that's because you told me that I couldn't use the restroom, so that's why I had no choice but to... So I told you to go outside. And I told you that I can't do that.
Oh, Caitlin, I truly apologize for my wife's rudeness. I'm sorry for not apologizing to you earlier.
Oh no, it's not your fault, Jack.
No, it's also my responsibility that Anna became this way. But it seems like I've been pretending too long to not see what was actually going on. You cannot use our restroom too from today.
Sweetie, what the heck are you saying?
You and I, we are strangers too, and we are only connected through a piece of paper. And this house is my house, so I cannot let a stranger use my restroom.
What the hell? We've been together for more than...
That doesn't matter anymore. From the day we became a husband and a wife, we are supposed to support each other, right? And John did what he was supposed to do to support his wife. He grew up to be a good son who loves his wife. And Caitlin is such a nice, good person. She doesn't even think people's sarcasm and criticism to be a sarcasm or criticism. What you are doing to Caitlin is just completely terrible. I'm just so disappointed in you.
After that, Jack urged my husband and I to go home, and we quickly went back home. And that was the last time I saw Anna, because Jack had divorced Anna. According to my husband, Jack got fed up with the fact that Anna had deeply hurt her grandchild's feelings, how she did nothing but belittle people whenever she had the chance to talk. Anna was never taken by the devil, but actually she was taken to the city office by Jack. I heard that Anna didn't make a fuss at the city office and signed the papers quietly. Lily and John both checked the divorce papers and it looked like they had no objection to the divorce. Jack properly divided the property in two and gave his half to Anna. They got divorced in their 60s. I'm told that Anna has returned to her own family home. It seems that Anna begged to see her grandchildren, but that has not happened so far. Lily has decided not to have her kids be with Anna, saying that children should grow up surrounded by nice adults. I completely agree. You wouldn't want your precious kids to be around adults who only speak negative, terrible things. Lily and John might have grown up in such an environment and may have had many bad experiences. Since Anna left, my life has been much calmer. We began to visit Jack from time to time. I was worried about Jack, who now lives alone, and I also heard that Lily and her husband were also worried about that too, and that they too now frequently visit Jack at his house. I thought that Tom, who tried to protect his grandma, was a grandma's little boy, but apparently he was not. He was just trying to help someone who could have been taken away by the devil. He was usually the grandpa's little boy, and he was really close with Jack. It's been 3 months since then, and now I'm pregnant. I want to provide a good environment for my child. Words are words that will eventually come back to me, so I might as well avoid saying anything negative. And I would like to be always at peace. Congratulations on your pregnancy, Caitlin. I hope you have an amazing, healthy life. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.
$3,000 for accommodations at a luxury hotel. $1,000 for meals at high-class restaurants. $500 at a well-known spa. What the heck are these? I happened to take a peek at the credit card statement, which normally is left for my husband to take care of. There's a lineup of bills that shows a horrendous amount. Moreover, all of these reservations that have been paid for in advance are for the same period. Those were dates when my husband, who serves in PTA at our daughter's middle school, is to attend a board retreat. Even if I'm not familiar with these things, I understand what it means. To support me in my demanding job, my husband has decided to be a stay-at-home dad. Thanks to his devotion to his family, I've been able to commit myself to work without worries. I've been grateful to him for being too good to be true. Yet, his true intention may have not been for the family. I carefully take out something and slip it into his wallet. At the same time, I make a call to someone. He will be leaving in a week, probably with great spirit. I hope it will be an unforgettable memory for him. My name is Maggie. I'm a nurse. I work at a university hospital. Honestly, my days are so busy that there's no difference between days and nights. The reason I can continue working my crazy hours is my beloved husband, Glenn. I love my job and I'm proud of it. I couldn't choose between my marriage and my job and cried hard in front of him many times. He respected my determination and decided to be a full-time stay-at-home dad to support his family. He always pushed me to work to the best of my ability. He never paid attention to the curious eyes of other mothers, and even served on the PTA board at our daughter's middle school. My daughter Sasha was also supportive. I, as a breadwinner, had been working hard to make ends meet for my family. One day, I received a call from my credit card company. I changed the debit account for my own convenience the other day. The money wasn't deposited in time for withdrawal, and it was an overdraft. Oh, darn it. I hastily checked my credit card statement in order to make the transfer. Since I usually left such matters to Glenn, I hadn't checked their statement for years. I realized how lax I had been. My eyeballs almost popped out of my head when I saw the statement on my phone screen. The total amount was outrageous. I panicked thinking about what I had spent. I couldn't even remember what I bought. I decided to check the details. There I found a long history of which I had no recollection. Name of designers, brand boutiques, famous parfumerie, and a luxury watch brand. I liked those brands, but I hadn't bought anything from them. For a moment, I wondered if Glenn, who had a family card, was planning to surprise me. I hadn't received any of them, though. Moreover, all the purchases were made only on Wednesdays. It was a day I worked a night shift, and Glenn had a board meeting. What's going on? I resolved to question him as soon as I got home. I hurried home anxiously. Then I heard a voice calling out to me. Hi, Maggie, long time no see. Are you on the way home from work? I was almost home when I ran into Tara. She was also a PTA member and one of the few mothers I knew from the school. Hey, long time. Thank you for always helping Glenn. I hope he isn't giving you a hard time. I didn't know what to say to her, so I quickly brought up the common subjects that I could think of. She patted me on the shoulder, saying I was acting distant. The moment she moved her arm, my sense focused on the fragrance in the air. The perfume she wore was the signature of the perfumery that was on the credit card statement. I had wanted to buy it so badly that I tried it on many times in the shop. I missed the timing to buy it in the end, but I clearly remember the scent. Smells nice. That's the one I wanted too. Did you buy it? No idea why I asked her that. Jealousy. I was ashamed of my foolishness. Still, the purchases were always made on Wednesdays when the meeting was held. A PTA member wearing the same perfume. Once I suspected her, my thoughts went more and more toward the unpleasant side. Tara, of course, was unaware of my suspicion and cheerfully responded, "Actually, I got it as a gift. It was our anniversary the other day." She laughed cutely. "Oh, that's so nice. You guys are so in love." I felt relaxed, and after enjoying the casual conversation, we parted ways. It was not surprising that she had it since it was a popular item. Even after the birth of her children, she still talked about her anniversary with her husband in such a cute and happy way. She didn't say husband. I stopped abruptly and returned to the place where I had left her. Of course, she wasn't there. But the urge to go after her was so strong. Glenn and she had something going on. The little doubt that popped up in my mind swelled to the point that I could no longer ignore it. The next Wednesday, my family saw me off to work as usual. Then I asked my colleagues to let me leave early. I didn't tell Glenn, of course. If I told him, it would have been meaningless. I waited for him a short distance from home. Soon after, my mother-in-law arrived and in turn, Glenn left for the meeting. So far so usual. I followed him to the school. The board members had a meeting in the classroom for about half an hour and then dispersed. While most of them rushed back home, Glenn slowly came out at last, arm in arm with Tara. They stared into each other's eyes as they intertwined their fingers and walked toward a hotel. They had no clue that I was only a few meters behind them. My face scrunched up with tears. I believed in him. I loved him. Did he allow me to work long hours for his convenience? I stood there, feeling betrayed and despair. Mercilessly, my phone displayed the latest credit card usage, which showed the hotel bill he just went in. Eventually, the fun was over and the two of them came out looking happy. I calmly snapped pictures of them. There were no more tears, not even a trace of affection left in my heart. After that, I avoided seeing Glenn as much as possible, using my work as an excuse. Personally, I wouldn't have minded divorcing him right away. The divorce meant that I was taking Sasha away from her father. I didn't want to speak to anyone until I had a chance to think it through. "Mom?" Sasha's sudden voice brought me back to reality. I had been crying alone in the living room in the middle of the night since that day. I thought I was being discreet, but it seemed that she had noticed something was wrong. She couldn't sleep, or maybe she just woke up. She came out of bed late at night and gently hugged me. "I don't want you to be sad. Your enemies are my enemies. I won't forgive anyone who makes you sad. Even if it's Dad, I won't forgive him." Her words opened the floodgate that had been holding all the feelings. I waited like a child. tears of gratitude for her and apologies, and everything else spilled out. If I divorce your dad, things won't be the same as before. We have to move, and we won't be able to see him every day. If you have to change schools, you won't be able to see your friends. I spilled out of my concerns one after another. She interrupted and assured me, I still want to be with you, Mom. I want to be a nurse like you. I'll be fine, so please, do as you want. She held my hands tightly. Thank you, sweetheart. Encouraged by her, I decided to act on my plan. I had gotten into the habit of checking my credit card statements and found out that Glenn was planning a week-long trip. He called it a PTA board retreat. In the past, I would have sent it off without a second thought. Common sense told me that it would be unthinkable for parents with children to be away from home for a week at the same time. Even if it were to happen, and even if Glenn were to advance the cost of the trip on a credit card, the destination and the type of hotel were far off from the norm. He underestimated me not to find out. His attempts to hide the evidence became extremely difficult for him. I had not only the list of credit card transactions, but also the details of the courses at a chic restaurant, the confirmation of the hotel booking, and even the request for a surprise cake. I was grateful to him for quitting his job and becoming a stay-at-home dad. I thought it was my duty to work hard to provide for my family in return. I was definitely not working for him to betray his family and fool around like this. Don't mess with me. On my next day off, I calmly began my revenge against him. First, I called the hotel and every restaurant he had booked. Although the reservations were made in his name, I knew the details. When I told them that I was his wife, they didn't suspect me so much. Later that night, I took out his wallet that was left in the living room and pulled out his credit card. He used to carry around cash only before we got married and had never made his own card other than the family one. If his only card went missing, he would immediately notice something was wrong. So I put an expired one in his wallet. It had been renewed about 6 months ago, but I had been neglecting to get rid of it. I was truly amazed by my laziness and praised myself a little only for that occasion. It looked the same, but it was still expired. If he used it somewhere, he would have found out right away. It just needed to last until he was away from home. I'm leaving now. I'm going to have a lot of discussions to make the school better. Sasha, take good care of your mom, okay? Glenn left the house smiling, unaware of anything. Sasha and I also saw him off with smiles on our faces. I could have punched him in the face, but strangely, I felt very peaceful thinking that it was the last time I saw him. Well, let's get started. Yes. We made sure he was out of sight. In an instant, our smiles were concealed, and we rushed to pack our belongings. The movers showed up shortly after, and thanks to their efficiency, we were able to move into our new home in no time. Excuse me, where should we take these? Oh, don't worry about them. You can just leave them there. They took off wondering about the boxes that were piled up in one corner of the room. And I handed them over to another mover who arrived in turn. The contents were all Glenn's belongings. There was nothing left in the house after that. Waiting for his return in the living room, filled with memories were credit card statements and pictures of him and Tara that I had taken the other day. I also left my wedding ring that had lost its meaning, and a dread of divorce papers. I noticed that my cell phone has tons of missed calls. They were all from Glenn, who probably noticed something strange on the trip. Too bad for him. I sent a text saying that I was unable to respond due to several emergency operations. I read my vibrating phone in a tower and put it in the bottom of my bag. By the time his meddling calls had calmed down, my call history had exceeded 100. Sasha and I couldn't help but giggle at it. Oh, right. I should probably make one last call. Yeah, that's a good idea. We made a call to someone. Later, what's going on here? Maggie? Sasha? Anybody home? When Glenn returned home, in a good mood, after a week-long affair, he was shocked to find the house empty. Stunned by what I had left behind for him, he repeatedly called me to no avail. Of course not. I blocked him on my phone. Then he received a call from an unknown number. He thought it was me and jumped at the call. Hello? What the hell have you done? I was asked to pay for all the bookings I had already prepaid online, and my credit card expired. Do you have any idea how humiliated I was? This is nothing but harassment. I had to borrow money from everyone. Take responsibility and come up with the money now. So, did you borrow $5,000 from each of them? If that's true, that's an awful lot of money. Did you go overseas? I bet you must have had a lot of fun. I hope Tara didn't give you a hard time. Glenn stiffened at an unexpectedly low, commanding voice. He turned pale and started trembling so badly that he could not make a word. Is this Tara's? I'm so honored that you remember me. Yes, this is her husband. I know everything about you guys. I will make a firm demand for alimony from her. I won't let you guys get away with it. He hung up the phone as soon as he finished. He had no interest in hearing what Glenn had to say. Panic-stricken, he tried to contact Tara, but the phone was dead. It had already been cancelled. It was her husband whom I called and told about their affair that day. He was surprised, but not distraught, and sounded deeply sorry. He was somewhat aware of her affair. It was still shocking for him to find that her cheating partner was a close acquaintance. He even offered to cooperate with me to do what I wanted. After I got the address of her parents from him, I sent all of Glenn's belongings along with a copy of my divorce papers and pictures of their affair to them. They were, of course, furious. They were in such an uproar. That the whole neighborhood came to know about Tara's divorce and losing custody of her children due to the adultery. Her parents were wealthy with a successful local business. She probably thought that they were going to help her no matter what. They were enraged with her actions, which were fatal to their credibility as a business owner. They did not even let her inside the house when she had come to them in tears. In the end, she had nobody to turn to and began to live alone in a small apartment. She worked day and night at a place that was famous for its low wage and hardship to pay alimony. Meanwhile, Sasha and I temporarily moved in with my parents until the divorce was finalized. Glenn also had returned to his. I'm actually still in touch with them as they care about Sasha greatly. According to his dad, he literally spends every waking moment on the farm now. He can't afford to delay the payment of alimony and child support. His dad sounded deeply dismayed by him. My attorney managed to negotiate a hefty amount of alimony on top of child support, so his monthly payment is quite a sum. I'm sure that he would have to work hard but unable to save for himself for years to come. It's sounds like a living hell. After the divorce was successfully finalized, I moved to a new house with Sasha. In the end, she transferred to another school. Her new teachers and classmates have welcomed her warmly, so she's been enjoying her new life. Now that Glenn is someone from the past, I have to do the housework myself. It is much harder to keep a good balance between work and home than I imagined. But I definitely prefer this life rather than the one doubting my partner and a friend. I feel refreshed being freed from all the negatives now. I vote to be happier and work harder than before.